Welcome to Secular Soup. Stay tuned for real talk about atheism, feminism, politics, parenting, and whatever the fuck else Amy and Amy want to talk about, because this is their show. And get ready for a whole lot of motherfucking profanity.
You want to hear a secret?
I won't tell anybody. Go ahead.
If I sit next to you, I'm going to get gonorrhea. It's going to jump into me. Just two ladies hanging out.
Is it okay for me to make fun of his neck waddle if I make fun of my own neck waddle?
I'm not sure.
That's a real ethical conundrum.
Would you know if you were born a lizard person, or can you be like adopted into the...
I think you know.
You're such professionals.
We really are.
Buckle up, bitches. It's time to have some soup.
I'm Amy with a Y.
And I'm Amy with an I.
And we are on successful try number 2 to record this episode.
Okay, but what we
touch
were
and go
saying,
for a minute there.
Gold. We had gold. And then we were like, did we go live? We're like, oh, shit. I forgot to go live.
Period talk and yeast infection talk, and you missed all of it.
I don't think they're mad, though. We were talking about periods a lot.
Yeah, it was.
And I was joking that our male viewers are probably like, let's switch over to some other show that'll talk about balls, which is more our speed.
Yeah.
And so there you go. You caught up to
balls
the joke.
Balls are boring. Yeah.
Super fun. So yeah, tell us your fun fact that you found out this week.
Now I can't remember what fun fact I found out this week.
Yeast infections.
Oh, that fun fact. Yes. Yeah.
It's a fun fact.
It turns out, I did not know this until I was 44 years old. So last week, you can get a yeast infection under your breasts.
Yeah, I did know that.
Like, what the fuck?
But I'm a G cup, so I've known that my whole life.
See, no, I do not have a large chest, so I just never had that problem. And then perimenopause hit and I gained like 40 fucking pounds. Yeah. And now I'm like, well, it's sweaty, but like, why does it smell weird?
You're
like,
barely perimenopausal.
So gross.
I've been perimenopausal for like,
it's just hitting me.
No, I've been perimenopausal for like 6 years.
Wow.
And that's why, remember we've talked about this, that I wake up in a pool of sweat. And I'm a swamp monster. That's why, because I'm perimenopausal.
I mean, the night sweating thing has been happening for a year or two, but that was it. Like, that was the only symptom I had.
Like 6 years, I've been having perimenopausal for 6 years. I get, like ragey and I'm hangry and
just everything's fucked.
But, so what also happens is if you have a C-section scar where you have like that little stomach fold a little bit, because that's what happens with C-section. You also can get a yeast infection in there. And
fun.
So when my hormones get all wild, I keep antifungal cream in my drawer and just put it in all of the locations
in all the crevices,
are susceptible to, because I'm like, I don't want to stink. I'm too much of a hoe to smell bad.
Right?
Like, I can't.
You have too much work to do.
Can't be out there like hoeing my mighty hoe and not. Yeah, and have like a yeast
bodies are
infection
gross, man.
They are, and the amount of maintenance,
right?
Like, I don't understand the women that go the extra mile and have like their perfectly manicured eyebrows and their like nails. My nails are like bad, but like the manicured nails and like all of the extra maintenance on top of just not being a disgusting human.
Full-time job,
like all of the stuff just not to be gross.
Yeah,
is a lot of work. And then I also am fighting aging because 27 is a bitch of an age.
Right. That's when you start going wrinkly. I get it.
Right. So I put on like, I have this oil, this cocoa butter oil that I put on my face like 3 times a day. And then I'm also putting stuff in my hair so my hair doesn't get all, because grays, fun fact, my hair is kind of straight, like wavy straight, and my grays are coming in curly.
Nice.
And they are coarse, curly gray hairs, and like it's like cube texture.
Yeah.
And it's
on your head though.
On my head. And yet my hair is like super fine. Yeah. It's thick follicle count, but fine individual strands. So it's like super fine, straight hair with like, and I'll see something like stick out and then come down. I'm like, I'll see it in the sun and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? And then it feels like straw. And so I'll pull it out. I'm like, are you kidding me with this? And it comes out so easily.
See, I kind of wish I would just go completely gray.
One or the other.
Just pick one. Like, I don't care. If it just would all come out gray, that would be fine with me.
I would be okay with that.
It's this in between that is just.
And it's just random, like,
yeah.
I'll see like something right by my face and it's super long and curly. I'm like, how long has that been there? And I haven't noticed it.
Oh no, I have this like one chin hair.
Chin hairs
that grows out of this one follicle. And it's so thin that I don't, every once in a while, I just turn my head the right way and go, what the fuck is that? And I have to pull it out because I didn't notice it forever.
Like, could you imagine if you also did like full makeup, like contouring and stuff, and eyebrows and all of this, and pulling chin hairs? Like, you have so much work to do.
I have taken to, I found this little it's called Nomo Stash. It's a little straight razor for ladies that you use on your face. So it's kind of relaxing sometimes to watch TV and it's basically a straight razor and just go up and down.
Start an OnlyFans with just exact image.
It feels so great.
Just like
up and
watching,
down my neck.
I don't know. I'm guessing Ted Lasso.
Yes.
And you're shaving your face. Like, just have a camera set up.
You're in your great and very leisurely.
Soma nightgown and your robe
and your
slippers
with a cat right next to my shoulder. Trying to climb on me while I'm shaving my face off. It's just
you got your hair up.
Oh,
you got a headband on, probably like one of those.
Get a big headband. All of that.
Soft. Yeah,
it's a really good image.
I will subscribe to that.
People are jealous. I feel like I could make $1 million with that concept because that's just me every day. You know,
that's real life.
I got sick of doing it on my face one day and I just was like, I'm just going to shave all this hair off my arms because fuck it. So I just did because I was like, it'll grow back. I don't know. I don't like it right now. So now it's growing back into little tiny. You get to a certain age and you're like, I don't know. It's either going to fall out or come back. I don't care anymore.
Yeah. No, my thing is the thing that I'm like kind of obsessive with a little bit is I don't know, mostly my toenails probably.
Yeah.
Because I have one that it grows fine. It looks great. It's like a big toenail. And then all of a sudden it goes like weird flat and then has like this bump and then decides to just turn back into my foot and just turn into a hangnail or ingrown nail.
Cool.
So I have to, as soon as I see it go flat, I have to like cut all my nails down so it's nice. And so I have to, that's a full time. That's a maintenance job.
Body maintenance is just a lot. The cost of smoke and mirrors alone is getting really prohibitive.
I had this friend that recommended that we do the live broadcast. We will make an announcement at the end of the show.
Yes.
But I had this friend that was like, hey, why don't you guys do the live broadcast naked? You know, for your fans. And I was like, that is not a good idea because I do not look good naked without heavy filtering and mood lighting.
No. People might think they want to see this. They don't. Trust me.
I take really good pictures, but that is all angle and filters and no. That's
not. I've reached I'm a lady of a certain age.
Well, I've been saying nay now, nay, because I found this lady. She's on YouTube. She's on Facebook, and she does makeup. She does like amazing like makeup and talks about murder.
Oh well, of course. Is it Stephanie Harlow? No, she doesn't do makeup anymore.
No, this is Serena Bailey.
Okay. There's a whole bunch of makeup and murder people on YouTube.
But it's fantastic. Like, well, I just discovered her because I'm a noob, and she's like super fantastic. Let me look her up so I get her name right.
Okay.
But Bailey Sarian, Sarian.
Okay.
And she has resting bitch face. So when you see her, you're like, oh,
nice. Yeah.
That chick. And then you watch her and she is delightful. And she tells these obscure murder stories about like people that murder their sister because they gave them to their spouse to rape or something. It's terrible.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm sitting there like watching them when I'm working. I'm like, ooh, fun. And her makeup looks amazing. And she has like lime green. She does like wild things like lime green around her eyes and like black on her. Yeah.
That's how Stephanie Harlow is. She started out doing makeup, but then found quickly that there is more of an audience in murder. But she's always made up perfectly. She looks gorgeous. And she looks kind of like she'd be a mean girl in high school.
Do that.
But she's so fun.
I just don't even know how. I don't know how to make up. Like I've never really done like all of this.
I kind of have a set, like, especially now that I'm back working out in public and I have to wear a mask all day. I've been really going heavy on the eyes just because, like, that's all you can see of me.
I only have mascara on. That's all I do.
I do. So I've been doing eyebrow powder because another thing, perimenopause makes your eyebrows disappear. It turns out.
Oh, good.
They just go away.
I'm already a redhead, so I don't even.
And it's not that the hair falls out. It's just there's no more pigment in the hair. Like I'm
already
out.
Like they're already blonde.
Yeah. So I do that, and then I have I usually do 3 different eyeshadows because there's like the top of the lid, and then the cut. I have this very simple routine
like in
that
the
I do.
Crease, it's the top, and then the crease, and then
I
do
a little bit of powder underneath, and then I do my mascara with the curler. But I've never branched out and tried to do anything different with like different. I use the same color set every time. And
see, I get interesting with my lipsticks because I have a lot of lipsticks, and I do like today I had red lipstick on because I was taking nudie pictures. And so now I switched over and I put a purple over it, so to kind of tone it down.
Yeah, I have a nice chapstick that's got just a smidge of color in it. That's pretty much all I need.
Because you were also taking nudie pictures.
Exactly, all day at work. I was just
So my system was down. I went to go log into my laptop this morning for work, and they were like, my laptop being was like, hey, your password and your name combination doesn't work. I'm like, weird, because it's worked since July. Super weird. And then I have a fingerprint sensor, and it was like, your fingerprint doesn't match. I'm like, the fingerprint that I had yesterday? How does my fingerprint not match? So I had to call, and then they were like, oh, this is the overseas division. You can't call us. We don't have access to your laptop locally until you call the America division, which it doesn't start until 8 a.m. Central. So I start work at 7 a.m. Central. So I just kind of like fucked around for an hour. And then I called, and they were like, okay, cool. So here's your information. So I got into my laptop, and that took like a good 40 minutes to get into my laptop. So I get in like 8:46 or something. And then the VPN is down on my end. I'm like, I have internet access, can't get into anything company related because my VPN is down. Yeah. And so I messaged my boss, and she was like, oh, okay, I'll get back to you. I'm going to reach out to people and I'll get back to you. I didn't hear anything until 1. So I sent
did you at least get paid until 1?
Yeah. I made sure. I made sure. I was like, hey, as soon as I got online, I sent an email to the payroll, and I was like, I wasn't able to log in at 7 a.m. And so I need you to reflect that accordingly.
Bitch. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. So I just kind of hung out, and I got bored. And so I got a new teddy yesterday, so I was taking pictures in it. So might as well.
Well, I have,
I'll send it to you.
Okay, perfect. I would love that. Send it like 5 times with different filters on it. That'd be great. And then I'll put it on the Secret Soup Talk page. If you have not joined our Secret Soup Talk page on Facebook, pics will be right in there. No, I have cultivated this list at work of least favorite customers, and I'm sure I don't quite have them ranked, but I've got like a top 5, and 2 of them came in today. One of them likes to sell things, and one of them likes to buy only very, very specific things. And the 2 of them, but they both want to sit and talk all day, of course, to you and tell you things that you do not care about while you're trying to work and help other people.
You're like, hey, this is my job. Like,
right.
This is literally my job.
So, the 2 of them start talking, and then of course they're talking, and they won't leave for like an hour. And the guy who wants to sell stuff,
when they're talking, you can.
But I'm like, exactly. I'm like, then they're not talking to me, and maybe he'll sell the stuff to that guy. And oh, did you actually send me a picture? Oh my god, you did.
It's not a nude. It's actually not a nude.
Okay, yeah, that's just. I mean, it's very good, but it's not a nude. I'll still put it on the Secret Soup Shop page. It'll be fine.
Just kidding. That won't be jail there again.
I haven't been to Facebook jail in a while. I miss it.
I know. It's time. Apparently.
So I should, before we go any further, say thank you to Nathan, former top patron Nathan, for not murdering me and for buying me tickets to Frozen, the musical that we went to see in Minneapolis this weekend.
I was so jealous. So I was kind of like low-key joking about you guys drawing a stick figure in and then tagging me in all the pictures.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of sad that it didn't happen.
I didn't.
in all the pictures.
I know. I'm sorry. I was busy having fun and enjoying people that you didn't get to be
Maybe
around.
I could save that picture and then tag myself and
There
then
you
tag
go.
everybody else.
You could do that. That'd be fine. You could Photoshop it and do, yeah. It was a delightful show with too many children in attendance, wanting to know why Elsa was sad and why the people were frozen and what was happening. And you know how kids are like,
not study ahead of time?
Like, you've all seen the movie 700 times.
Right.
And then you've got all these parents just trying to shush that, like, it's a live performance. It's a live performance. This is expensive. I was telling my brother that.
Time and money.
My brother's like, maybe they should have like a descriptive, like they have, the interpreters for the shows where they do interpreting with sign language. Maybe they should have a descriptive one that's like, and now Elsa is sad because her sister, and it just tells the kids, underneath, like, look, they can wear little headphones and it'll explain the whole story to them without them yelling during the middle of a live production.
You hand them you download the Elsa Frozen themed app on their iPad and they have their headphones and everybody's just distracted and busy.
We're all happy. Yeah. And there were a million little girls dressed up like Elsa there. Obviously. Not a single Anna, because nobody apparently loves her, but lots of Elsas.
Anna's my favorite. Honestly.
She's the best. She's the main character.
She's the best one.
And she's the best one. But
she's a redhead.
But Elsa has a prettier dress.
I mean, Elsa's dress is gorgeous, especially the one she makes.
Yes.
Out of ice.
Yes. And
I have seen you in that dress. So
yeah, the one on stage was way better. So
how?
I mean, it was spectacular. There was one little boy, looked like he was about 3, and he had a full Batman costume on with the mask and the cape. And Nathan was just like, "Oh, wrong play. That kid's gonna be super disappointed when the curtain comes up." And this is not a Batman musical. He was pumped, ready. And then I
told him, "You can dress up," and he's like, "Yes, I'm gonna be Batman." They're like, "Batman." Okay, but it's Frozen. Batman.
Yeah. I wonder what that kid thought of the play. If he was like, "Can we fucking leave?" Oh my God, it's just singing. It's just singing.
Sisters?
I mean, I have no idea. He was just wandering around by himself.
If he was there with sisters and they were dressed like Elsa and Anna or whatever,
I'm sure that's what was going on.
Or Elsa and Elsa.
Yeah.
Then he would be like, "Well, I'm gonna wear my costume also."
Oh, I'm sure that's exactly what happened. So yeah, I keep thinking I really need to find a musical to take my younger son to, because my older son, that ship has sailed. He is fully not on board with Broadway musicals whatsoever. He never will be. I took him to Shrek the Musical at 9. He fucking hated it. It's just not going to happen. So my younger
Shrek
son,
the Musical is rough though.
But it's for kids. Like, it's
I
just,
know, but that one is
musical,
rough. I tried watching that on YouTube and I got bored halfway through.
Well,
it's a hard one.
But you weren't in the like, if you're in the theater and there's the excitement of it, and no, he didn't. He wanted to leave at intermission. I forced him to stay. These fucking tickets are expensive. But my younger son, I'm like, there's got to be a show.
Batman?
No, he did not. He wore his light up tennis shoes that kept going off every time he moved his foot.
My daughter used to wear those to the movie theater and then run between me and her dad.
Yeah.
And it was just like flash, 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 flash. And I'm like, oh my gosh, sit down.
Yeah.
You need to sit down. It's super embarrassing because we would sit like down in the front because I had little kids and they were just like running. And I'm like, oh, gosh.
Yeah, at this point, I don't think there's a musical my younger son would enjoy. I mean, he hates loud noises, so he would hate the volume of the music to begin with.
But if he has the headphones explaining things to him too.
That's true. That would be a good point. If they had Anime the musical.
Oh my God.
Or YouTube the musical. Yes. Or
we need to write YouTube the musical.
Roblox the musical. I could totally get him to that show, but as it stands,
I would watch Roadblocks the musical. There's some low-key, kind of subversive white supremacy themes throughout, but we don't actually talk about it.
Just be cool about it. It's fine. There were some
cool about it.
Really cool adult jokes in Frozen that I definitely picked up on that the kids would not have.
Was Hans in an extra tight pair of pants?
No, but there's an entire sequence at the opening of the second act, and all of the actors are in the sauna, so they're wearing bodysuits, like flesh colored suits because they're supposed to be naked, and they do a whole dance with like these little leaves over their hands where they're just barely covering everything.
That's really cute.
It was really well done and adorable. At one point there was a joke about who's not Sven, who's the fucking guy, the main guy? Because Hans is the evil prince, right?
Okay.
Sven is the reindeer. Who's
Kristoff?
Kristoff, yes. Kristoff. At one point, Kristoff makes a joke about shoe size to Anna. So that's like
risque.
Yeah, Nathan was like, am I just picking up on that? Because I'm really into atheism. I'm like, no, that was definitely thrown in there for the adults.
Oh, so
like,
Nathan is an atheist also.
He is, it turns out.
That is interesting.
Right?
I've only met you and now Nathan.
Yeah.
So that's very
it turns out he has been an atheist for some time. And
wow. Okay.
Yeah, which is probably why he gave our show money. I thought it was just because we were delightful.
I thought it was just because, I had long sister wife hair.
But no, apparently it's not. Speaking of which, if anybody wants to meet me ever, here's what you do. You buy me tickets to a musical and then I will go meet you there. It has to be within driving distance. So Minneapolis is preferable.
It's a little more difficult than I am. It's like show up at a bar and buy me a drink and I am there.
No. I need tickets, and not just to any musical. It's got to be a Broadway.
There's an old fashioned or whiskey sour on the bar for you. I'm like, which bar?
It has to be a Broadway on tour production. It cannot be community theater. I won't go anywhere for community theater. Fuck that.
I've been to community theater, but I didn't need a fan there.
No.
I saw a lot of Mormons there.
I bet. Yeah, they're doing Paul Bunyan the musical in my town soon, and I saw the poster today and just went, oh, that sounds so cringy.
So I did something this weekend that was super fun that I've never done before also.
Was it going to Frozen the musical?
No, I went to a comedy show.
Really?
A live comedy show in Fort Worth, and it was actually super fun. And the headliner used to be like a writer on Mad TV. He's done like all these shows. He has all these like specials out right now.
Yeah.
And he comes out on stage and he was like, okay, calm down. It's really me. I am the guy that was in the Ariana or the iCarly Halloween special. Like, I'm a real person.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was fantastic. And the guy that opened for him was great. Everybody was just delightful. And we got to see a heckler get shut down. It was all kinds of fun. So
nice. Yeah, there's Second City is doing a show in St. Paul right now. Nice. That would be fun to go see, because Second City stuff is actually
that's
them in
where
Chicago
like
once, and
Radner
it's really fucking funny. And but
that's
other
where
than
so
that,
many people from Senate Life.
Yep.
Well, I want to say his name, so I'm not just like talking about his show and not saying who it was. It was Matt Broniger.
Okay.
So people can look at him. He has 3 specials right now, and he recorded a 4th special the day after I saw him.
Ooh, where are his specials?
Let me look him up. Watch Matt Broniger.
Do the work. Come on, Amy.
Movies and shows.
In the meantime, I will recite all of Frozen the musical for you. I can sing most of the numbers.
That one's on Tubi. This
Tubi's
one
confusing.
Is on YouTube. But he's on like a lot of shows too.
So we could catch him on YouTube and then figure it out from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then his opener, I didn't tell you I did this.
Uh-oh. Oh God. Did you flash him? You totally flashed him.
So I go up to this guy. He's a up and coming comedian. He was very cute and delightful. And he was this young guy. And I waited in a long line, like 20, 30 minutes to meet him. And I go up to him and I said, if you ever want to learn how to hone your craft, you should listen to my show.
No. Oh my God.
I did it in a delightful way. And I had great cleavage.
Yes.
And he was like, oh, really? What's your show? And I told him Secular Soup, and he still took a picture with me and he still chit-chatted with me.
Nice.
And it was good, but I don't think...
You don't think he's going to listen? I bet he's going to listen. I bet he's our newest fan. He'll become a patron. It'll be a whole thing. I personally sent a message to the Broadway actor I wanted to see.
Very proud of myself for doing that.
That took balls. I'm impressed by that. Yeah.
That was two beers, but yeah.
Yeah. sent an Instagram message to F. Michael Haney, who, if you have not heard me mention F. Michael Haney 700 times before.
Was he on Pitch Perfect?
He was not on Pitch Perfect,
Then I don't
but
know.
he did perform with Ben Platt at 54 Below one time in a production of Bandcamp, the music. It's a whole... I'm way too deep into the nerdy Broadway YouTube culture, so nobody will understand any of this. But F. Michael Haney was playing Olaf in Frozen, which is really why I wanted to go, because I love F. Michael Haney, even though fucking Olaf is the most ridiculous goddamn character in that entire show, and it was just terrible. Nathan and I agreed they should have just cut Olaf from the musical. But at any rate, I sent him a message beforehand and said, I have tickets to go see your show on October 2nd, and would love if there's a chance to do like a meet and greet or get a picture or autograph. Like, is that something you guys are doing? And I tried to write it not very creepy, but I put, I hope this isn't creepy in it at least twice, which then made it creepy.
Yeah, that makes it creepy.
And he didn't respond. So then I wrote, after a few days, I wrote another message that was like, oh shit, I just reread this and it is very creepy. I apologize. And then he replied to me and was like, thank you for your message. I apologize. I haven't been on social media much. And but he said, unfortunately, Disney, because Disney owns everything and they own the musical, is not letting any of the performers go anywhere near any of the audience because of COVID. Which
that
makes sense because Disney owns them and they can't have them get sick because then they lose money. So
I sent you the picture of the headliner guy is
he cute?
He looks okay. So he said he looks like lesbian Drew Carey.
Oh my God, he does look like lesbian Drew Carey. That is accurate. Wow.
I can't remember his name. He will correct me when he's a fan of my show.
That's true. He'll let us know. Just call in and let us know. We have a phone number that we don't use. So
just email me and I won't respond.
Yeah.
Because I'm so busy and important. I stood in the line for that long to tell you.
Same. Yeah. For a split second, I'm like, maybe I should tell F. Michael Haney that I do a podcast.
I sent a message. No. So I read this book one time and I thought it was such a great book. And then I went to her website because it was an autobiography. It was this lady that used to be like a producer with the Wu-Tang Clan and stuff. And it was the baddest bitch in the room, Sophia Chang. And I sent her a message. I'm like, hey, I have a show. I would love to have you on it. And I never heard anything back, but
yeah. Hey, all you can do is ask, But then, so randomly I get this text from a friend the other day. She was like, I forgot you had a show. What's the name of it again? I'm like, okay, cool. So at least my, those are people that know me in person and they're like, that happens to me frequently. Don't you have a show? Yeah.
Yeah, but
I do. But to be fair, I don't talk about it.
Yeah, I don't much either.
The regular friends.
I don't want people I know in real life to hear my stuff. Do they need to know I get a yeast infection on my C-section scar?
No, they have to see you in person. They don't need to know that.
I'll show it to them in person. I'm like, right here. You see the spot? It's a little problematic.
See, my worry is that I'm going to talk shit about the people I know for real, and then they're going to hear it, and I'll have talked shit about the wrong person, and they'll have listened to it, and then I'll feel bad because I'm Minnesotan, and I have to feel bad about everything.
If I get a little too many beers in, I do that to their faces.
Yeah. See,
so it doesn't actually matter.
I was brought up right.
I was brought up right also. I was Mormon, clearly. Duh.
Yeah, I was brought up to talk behind their backs like a civilized person.
Yeah, but
then if they listen, that ruins it.
I had a cultural shift and I decided that what's better than right in front of your face. So I'm going to tell you, you're a bitch to your face.
Good point. I mean, there's several times throughout the day I would love to do that to several people.
Well, you can't do it because you are trying to keep people patronizing your
some people
store.
Are such assholes. I just hate them so much.
See, and I can say that because I work from home and I don't talk to anybody. So I can mute myself and be like, this bitch.
Although the nice thing about having a mask on is I can say things under the mask quietly that they cannot see. Although they can see the eye roll most of the time. So I have to turn around so they can't see me roll my fucking eyes at them because they're terrible. So, by the way, we, our hospital in town, I'm sure it's worse in Texas because everybody's dying in Texas.
No, COVID doesn't exist in Texas.
That's
fine.
right.
Cool.
That's right.
That's fine.
So our local hospital has 10 ICU beds full with COVID patients right now.
You only have 10 ICU
Oh, yeah.
beds?
It's a small town. We only have 10 ICU beds, and 9 of them have fucking COVID patients in them. Last night, my mom had to take a friend of hers to the hospital, an elderly friend, and she was sick, and they just reinstituted their no visitors policy because they had to go back
Texas
to it
isn't
now.
Gonna do that. Texas is like,
just
you
for
need your whole family to come?
No, yeah,
Bring
just
them in. It's
this
fine.
one hospital decided to do it, I
Yeah,
guess. So she
no,
couldn't
bring it
stay
in.
with her. She's like, okay, I'll just leave. But she called to check on her later. 3 hours later, she still had not been seen in the ER because there were no beds in the
Oh
ER.
my gosh.
When they finally saw her, they couldn't admit her because there were no fucking beds in the hospital to give her. So they had to send her home sick without doing anything. I know somebody my age, he used to work at my parents' old company. He just died of an aortic aneurysm. And it was a situation where he went to the hospital, and I wonder if they could have saved him had they had.
I don't know. Aortic aneurysms. That's I don't know.
Drop dead on instant. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty.
But it's like who are they turning away because they don't have the capacity, and they can't send them anywhere else? All the other towns around us are full too. So what the fuck do you do?
And urgent care centers can only do so much.
Oh yeah. I'm terrified of having a flare up and having to go to the hospital, and I bet they won't do anything.
No, my biggest fear is, I'm afraid of blood clots. Like in any version, I'm afraid of some form of embolism, like aortic, pulmonary,
all of it.
like anywhere. I'm terrified because there's literally nothing you can do. It's
you just die. That's
it. And there's nothing you can really do to prevent it.
Right. You can't really prevent it. You can't really tell it's happening most of the time.
I'm hoping that if you drink alcohol, it thins your blood. I don't think
it does.
Logic is there as much, though.
I think that's science, though.
But you reach a certain point. If you drink too much, then you start to have heart disease, and that also is a contributor. So it's this whole thing. So it's this fine line. I'm basically an alchemist in my own system.
I'm creating science.
That makes sense, actually.
It might. Who knows? Just play it back and listen to it. And so anyway, we're all fucked. Really hoping I won't have to go to the hospital anytime soon. One of my good friends,
popcorn.
I'm just trying not to eat. I'll just take up smoking again. One of my friends texted me.
Speaking of blood clots.
Yeah. One of my best friends texted me today, and she's like, "Oh, do you remember so-and-so from high school?" And I'm like, "I think I remember his brother." And she goes, "Yeah, he died of medical freedom yesterday." Like,
medical freedom.
One. Yep.
Yeah,
I think that's what we should start calling it. Is just saying people are dying of medical freedom. Yep.
I had a friend
Their freedom killed them.
And then my favorite, I know this is really terrible, and I talked about it on the last show, but this anti-vax, super vocally anti-mask kindergarten teacher was in the hospital with COVID. She recovered. She's okay now, but she's always complaining about all the long-term effects and stuff. I'm like, you know what would have prevented that?
A fucking
vaccine.
It's not hard to figure out. Oh my God. Speaking of, so this is a great crossover story. At Frozen the Musical, during intermission, Nathan and I were standing out in the hallway talking to the security guard who is in the hallway, who it turns out 2 nights previously had been the security guard at the Harry Styles concert in town.
Oh, he came through Dallas too. Yeah.
So, and then the night before that was the Eagles. He was at their show. And so we kind of were chit-chatting with him out in the hallway, waiting for the intermission to be over, stretching our legs. And
I do. I like the Eagles.
Well, I mentioned, because we were all wearing masks, and I asked him, like, I said, do they require all the staff and security to wear masks all the time? He's like, well, I don't work for the theater. I work for a security company, and we do. And because, he's like, when you're working for Harry Styles, everybody's got to be vaccinated and masked and everything. But I said, I live in a town where half the people won't get vaccinated. It's really frustrating. And I said, there are nurses who won't.
42% or something like that.
I said, and there's a huge percentage of nurses who will not get vaccinated.
Are there hospitals? Are the hospitals requiring it now? Because ours are.
Yeah. And so people are getting fired.
Bad and protesting.
And, they're having their freedom
nurses
rallies.
Shouldn't lose their jobs. It's like,
they should.
If they don't believe in science, it's a science job.
Well,
they should lose their job.
So I told this guy, I'm like, I can't believe all these nurses are quitting. And he goes, yeah, but There's a couple different ways you could look at that, though. He's like, you could look at it as, there's these nurses and they just won't do it, and so they're losing their jobs. Or what's in that vaccine that so many nurses are leery of taking it? And right then the lights flicked black on and off to go back to our seats, and I was like, okay, good talking to you. I'm gonna go sit back down now and enjoy the second act. Oh my god.
So I can tell you, because I took a lot of the same classes that nurses took for undergrad, because my particular niche field required all of the same courses.
Right.
They don't know what's in the vaccine.
No, they don't.
They are not
no
biochemical researchers.
Nope.
They are not virologists.
They're not doctors.
They're not doctors.
I mean, sorry.
Even a doctor doesn't know specifics, but they know more.
Yes.
And they do not know. They are reading the same things we are.
But do you know how many dumb nurses I've come across in my time?
I've met a lot of dumb Christian nurses.
God. Yeah.
So I was talking the other day about being rude to wait staff. I don't do that.
Always be rude to wait staff. That's what we're endorsing.
That is our stance as Secular Soup.
Right.
No, what I was saying was I can't think of a time when I've ever actually been rude to wait staff, no matter how long I've waited, unless there was something very particular, like they brought something back and their thumb was in it. And I was like, hey, dude. And I wasn't even rude. I was like, can you, and even if I see like a hair in it, I'll just pull it out unless it's like a massive amount, or I don't even care. Like I'll send things back if it's something specific, like, hey, I'm allergic to this item.
Yeah.
I can't have this, but I'm not going to be rude about it. So, because I can't think of a reason why I would have to be rude to a cashier or wait staff.
No.
Like I can't, but I have been rude to nurses and doctors on more than one occasion. And it was deservedly so, because they're assholes to me. And I have fired them from my care.
Right.
Doctors and nurses. Someone has been a jerk to me. I'm like, I need to see someone else. You are no longer my doctor.
Yeah.
Like you are no
fired
longer
nurses. I don't think I've ever fired a doctor, but I have
fired
nurses.
a doctor and a nurse in the same instance because they were tag teaming against me.
Oh, well.
That's the ones that were trying to make me pee when I was dehydrated.
Oh yeah. Fucking
and
assholes.
They were like, well, Kathy, right now. I'm like, just wait for the fucking bag to go through. Like, call them your tits.
Yeah.
And she was crying. She was like, you're going to harm the baby. I'm like, I'm not going to harm the baby by waiting for the IV to go through before I can pee. To give you a urine sample. And then the doctor came in and yelled at me. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with both of you.
Yeah.
I need a new doctor. I need a new nurse. And I need them right now.
Besides, you're the patient. Not the baby. I'm sorry, but just like you're the fucking patient.
No,
they should be concerned about you.
But it's a human. Now it is. Now it's an almost 19-year-old human.
Fucking Texas,
It was not I live in Texas.
Yeah. That's what I was referring to. But
I am very, very glad that I can't get pregnant.
Me too.
So
I'm glad I've got that IUD in place and that I'm rapidly aging out of the system of being able to have babies anyway.
I haven't been able to have a baby for over 11 years because I have my tubes tied. And then the ablation, ablation kind of fixed me to death. And this is what happens with live shows.
Usually we can edit this stuff out, but nobody has time. And so we're just going to leave all the fun stuff in.
We're
this
going
is
to talk
how we
about
roll
parents,
now.
We're going to talk about
Sorry.
babies.
Listen,
be disgusting.
That yeast infection talk was way shortened from the first one. So you're welcome.
But I learned more first time
around. That's true. Yeah.
We grew and learned together.
That's what we like to do on this show. So I've just basically been going to see musicals and working and hating customers because they won't wear a fucking mask. Although today I changed my mask sign. We'll see if it works.
Cool.
At first it said masks not required, but greatly appreciated.
Yeah, no, it's too
that
nice.
Didn't work. So then the next one I switched that around and went masks greatly appreciated, but not required underneath it. Just because people
Why
ask,
do you have
do
to
I
say
have to
not
wear
required?
Because people ask, do I have to? But I'm like, fuck that. I finally changed
in Texas,
it to.
They say mask required.
Yeah, no. Well, we can't require a mask. My mom will not let that happen.
Why? No one wears them anyway.
Because she just will lose too many customers if we have a mask mandate.
So Minnesota,
yep. But so I finally changed it to we have an immunosuppressed staff, or we have we have immunosuppressed staff. Wearing a mask is appreciated with a pile of free masks. that just say free. And so far today, more people than not put them on. So I think if you humanize it, make it feel bad, and look me in the eye, you got to look them right in the eye.
You're like,
put the fucking mask on. It's not that hard. It's free. It's right in front of you. Just goddamn do it.
So my latest thing is my children are older. Like they're big, they're giant adults.
They're basically elderly.
They're basically elderly. They're basically geriatric millennials like me.
Yeah.
No, they're almost 19 and 16. My boys. And my favorite thing is to now try to parent them wrong. Like undo the work that I spent the past 19 and 16 years doing. And so my son will come over and we'll be hanging out and I'm just like, choose violence today. And he's like, I'm like, you should choose violence every day.
Yeah.
And he's just looking at me as like,
just see if it takes, you know?
Yeah. I was like, I've decided to choose violence and I figured you should probably follow in my wake. And he's like, I'm not going to. I'm like, but your mother, me, is telling you to choose violence today.
Just do it. It's not hard.
Yeah.
I have.
And I tell him that. I'm like, I love you. Choose violence. Yeah. And he's like, oh my God, Mom. Like,
I was going to say, I'm sure he doesn't roll his eyes at all and get mortified by that like my children do. Yeah. My 11-year-old is into being like, oh, Mom, just everything I say embarrasses him. So
she's like, yeah. She'll go between being like Velcroed to me and just like hugging me and just like, I love you, like right in my face. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. To, oh my God, Mom.
Yep. That's
so
11.
So we went to a choir concert on Monday for her at the middle school. And she's in a brand new middle school. It's just first year. And I didn't know where it was. I had to Google the location because she takes the bus from her dad's house.
Yeah.
Because he lives in the district and I don't.
Yeah.
So I had to find the middle school and it was far. But, so we go there and 50% of the people are wearing masks. Most of them are not white. And there's a couple other people wearing masks, and every single person that said hi to me and hugged me and called me by name were not.
Oh my God. No.
And fun fact, one person pretended like he didn't know me, but all three of his kids hugged me.
That's funny.
All three of his children hugged me.
Are we talking about your ex here? Or?
No. My older children did not go to a middle school choir concert.
Okay, good point. Yeah.
No, he stood there all awkwardly while my daughter was like, Mom, love you, Mom. And all her friends hugged me and talked about how great I am and how much they like me. And he just stood there all awkwardly with his beard hanging out the bottom of his mask, like,
oh my God.
Like that. You can't see it.
I get the look. I've seen it many times. Yeah.
It's like
pretty gross.
Like straggly. It's like a goat.
Yep. You need, in those cases, you need the thing that you pull up, like the gaiter instead. The masks look crazy.
Exactly. Or just pull that down or tuck it.
Yeah, do something.
Fun fact, shave your beard.
There you go. That's a good idea.
It'll look gross because it's all gray and it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
I ran into one of my son's old friends at the Walmart pickup yesterday.
Oh, the one that you like?
The same one, the one that I like. I saw him again yesterday, and I love this kid. He's such a sweet fucking kid.
You cannot steal another child.
I want him to come live at our house.
Yes, but you cannot just have a kid live at your house.
I think I could, though. But I saw, it was funny because he can't remember my name. I'm just, so-and-so's mom.
Leave a trail of like Game Boys or...
Well,
I don't know. What are the kids like?
I mean, kids his age, probably weed. I don't know.
I don't know. What do you leave in a trail of?
Well, so he was
anime porn.
He was raised by his grandmother, who I never quite got the story on where his parents are. I kind of think maybe they're in prison. I don't know. But he told me she died like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Oh,
and grandma? I just like, yes, his grandma. And so he lives with his uncle now. And I'm just picturing a horrible uncle. I'm sure maybe his uncle's totally fine, but in my head, he's a horrible
like
person,
super hot,
and he's making this child live in a closet,
and they just drink. They shoot beers all day, and they They play PlayStation. Like his life he's living the dream.
Yeah.
He lives in a frat house.
We sat and had a great chat, and he was
What's
like,
his uncle's number? Give him to me.
I'll find out. I'll let you know.
I'll talk to him.
I wanted to just be like, can I just come over and see where you live and make sure everything's okay? Because I just, but he seemed genuinely interested in wanting to hang out with my son again, because the reason they're not really friends anymore is just because my son doesn't go to school anymore. And this particular kid did not come from a rich family and didn't have his own cell phone. And so they didn't text, and he's not online playing games. So like, that's kind of
I think the kids say on the lines now.
I think you're right. Yeah. So I told him, I gave him my son's phone number and said, you text him, because I said, he's probably not going to text you because of his anxiety. I said, he does not want to initiate.
That's what I do.
Awkward conversation. Yeah.
And then sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I should say that.
I said I would give him your number.
Relationship where I'm just like, send it. I'm like, oh, that's gonna get me in trouble.
Yeah. So I told, and this kid is much more just outgoing, and so I'm like, he's like, oh sure, totally, and wrote down. I said, send him a text. He's like, I would love to hang out or something, and so I'm like,
what if he like starts so he could like come a foot pick or something?
I
just make it real weird.
Maybe
I should start doing that. Like someone gives me their number at a bar, so I just send them a foot.
That's a great idea. Your foot, or just like a dead, severed foot? I mean,
any foot I happen to have.
Just a foot that's lying around.
A foot that is in my possession.
People love that. I heard guys love that. So
I mean, yeah.
I just my kids.
My social life's about to expand.
I can tell. The
cops.
I still don't know how we're not making a fortune as foot models.
Because we aren't doing anything about it.
Oh yeah,
your feet are great. My feet are
not great.
They're pretty great.
I mean, yikes! I mean, they're not as bad as the rest of me at this point. They're my one feature that's kind of holding in, but not very well.
Aging slower than the rest of you. Oh. That's my hair at this point. It's like, so most of me is over 27, but my hair. Hasn't aged a day.
Yeah, my hands. I now have the hands of an 85-year-old.
I have the hands of a very old woman because I am an obsessive cleaner. I clean and I wash my hands in super hot water, and I know it's bad every time I do it. And I still
do it anyway. Yeah,
my
neck is rapidly going bad.
I wear gloves when I clean, but then I take the gloves off and I wash my hands in boiling hot water. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So, mine are, I just don't, I should be putting lotion on my hands like every day, and I just don't.
I don't like the way it feels, so I put it on the back of my hand. So I'm a weirdo.
Like, I do that too. I put it just on the back of my hands.
Like just on
I do that too. Just
people are looking at me. I'm like, I don't want it on the front because.
And I do that when I'm in my car. So I'm just like at the thing, just rubbing my back of my hands together.
Okay, we should park next to each other, like.
Hey. Well, because then I feel like, especially with like really nice scented lotion, I put it all over my hands, but then I just got to wash my hands again like 5 minutes later, and then I've wasted all this lotion. That's it's
sometimes during winter in Texas when it gets real dry. Minnesota gets real dry as well.
Oh, real dry, yeah.
Yeah. So when it's very dry, I will put lotion on the front and the back, and then I'll just run my fingers through my hair and get the back of it. I'm like, here we go. Problem solved. I do the same thing with my cocoa butter oil that I put on my face, and then I just run my fingers. I assume it's the same thing as beard oil.
Might as well be. I mean, I don't understand the science behind what any of that is. So it's probably all the stuff they put in vaccines.
Probably ask a nurse. Yeah, there we go. You're on the same track.
Yeah. I mean, they know. They totally comprehend.
I have talked to nurses and they know science.
Yeah, nurses are oof. I always caveat this by saying I know some fantastic fucking smart nurses. I know nurses can be goddamn amazing, or they can just be stupid pieces of shit. And it doesn't seem like there's a ton of in between, frankly. It seems like you get a nurse who's great, who's good at her job, who's personable, who takes it, or you get a nurse who's just kind of a bitch, doesn't really know what she's doing.
Blonde for some reason.
Young, very young, usually.
Weird. She has a crown tattoo on her arm. It says Queen. I'm like, what?
Yeah, no. You should not be in nursing. I don't.
Yeah. I'm just like, what? how are you this person every single time? Like, this is super weird. Let me guess, your husband has king tattooed on his arm? Oh, so original.
Ex-husband, thank you very much.
Ex-baby daddy.
Because that's what happens when you get matching tattoos. I'm just saying. You're
I've
just
never got a
asking
matching
for
tattoo
trouble.
with anyone, and I'm still
Me
divorced.
neither.
So
yeah,
I have the science doesn't match up.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I do. So I did get a tattoo at the same time as Gentleman Caller.
Yes, but they don't match, and you don't have the names on them. That's the important thing.
The second you put someone's name on your body, you're going to break up on the ride home.
Exactly. Thank you.
So,
that's unless the only names that are appropriate are your children.
Even then,
are your children. Don't put dead people's
they're
name.
on notice. They're on notice every day.
Yeah.
Like if I meet a kid that's better,
that's true.
Swapping them out because my kids aren't choosing violence appropriately.
Have you met this kid at the Walmart who brings me my groceries?
When they were little, when they were kids, I was like, you guys, you got to be better, or I'm about to trade you for the neighbor kids. And they're like, what? I'm like, they're being super good right now, and you guys are being jerks. So,
yeah,
time to be better. And they were like, we love you. You're a mom. I'm like, I love you too. Be better.
Yeah, just do better. You can do better than this. Yeah.
But usually that was like a last resort when they were like physically assaulting each other, like full on brawls. I'm like, hey, guys.
See, my older one has been.
Don't make me want to trade you in.
I'm surprised my mom never traded us in, but my older son has been so much nicer to my younger son recently. And I think it's just
hormones,
maturity. And like, but my younger son is just like, I like the new him better. Like, that's very sweet.
For some reason, my oldest and my youngest fight all the time.
Oh, they did until very recently. They still do.
19. I'm like,
yeah.
Like, at what point are you going to stop being an asshole to your sister?
38? I have no idea.
I get it.
It's not perfect yet, but they are still, it's better than it has been. But I have, before we wrap up or anything, I have the most inspiring parenting story for you.
Is it choose violence? Because I'm pretty
it is
sure.
Not. No, it's actually a little bit, it gives you a little bit of hope for the future, I would say. And I'm not even being sarcastic. So
you can't tell with that voice.
I know it's hard. That's because I do that with
I'm not
everything.
Mad.
So
I'm disappointed.
Yeah,
it's disappointed.
Your tone. So I had posted this thing on Facebook a couple of weeks ago on my own personal page about the whole you should ask for help thing, right? It's like
I don't
the whole mental load,
emotional labor,
just
you know how many times I've had to explain emotional labor to people?
Well, see, and that's this
which is more emotional labor.
Thank you. This comic was an excellent. It laid it out in the best way I have ever seen. Very simply and easy to understand terms.
For sexual consent.
Like just in a very and not boring because it's a comic. Like so I had sent my older son and my husband. I texted it to them and said, "Would you please read this? Like I won't ask." I don't ask for much.
You're like, I don't ask for much.
I just want you to fucking read this.
Every fucking thing.
That's all I'm asking is to look at this and read it. And that is it. That's all I want. Just fucking do it. It's not hard. So I did. I sent it to them and then I kind of forgot about it. And
as you do.
As you do.
Perimenopause.
I am 100% certain my husband has not read it yet. But my son came upstairs the other day and he was like, so that thing, that comic you sent? I read it. I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, I actually learned something. It kind of made sense. Like I totally like, yeah, I'm glad I know I do a lot of the things that are in there. And yeah, and then he like had a plan for here's how I can help more. And it was like, those moments where you're like, is this really happening? Did I actually do something correct as a parent that's paying off for me now? I
don't have those moments.
It's so rare. Oh my God. It's so rare that you feel like you haven't totally just fucked up your kids in every way.
That's usually where I live.
Yeah. So no, it was just gave me a little bit of hope for the future. So maybe if we can all send that comic to our children, to our boy children and girl children, because they should all read it, frankly. Maybe the world can be a little bit of a better place or not. I'm sure it'll still be a shit show. So
probably.
Anyway, We should do the patrons.
Yes, read the patrons, and then I will play the end stuff.
You'll play us out. So
I'll play us out.
Here's what a pro would do. They would pull up the patrons first, before they said that. Because then they would have the list ready to go.
Lay the patrons over Eli. Like,
no. Okay. I got it. Verify. Okay. Nope. I don't need to verify this device. I just need to see the fucking patrons. That's all you need to show me. Tell me a great story, Amy. Is there anything interesting that has happened to you?
So I'm going to make a recipe later after we finish recording. I'm going to make some stuffed chicken. But I'm going to learn about her journey to Tuscany and why she likes pesto so much, I'm sure.
Nice.
On my way to the recipe.
Okay.
Because it's like my journey as a young mom in my journey to Tuscany. I'm like, okay, not all of us had that experience as a young mom. No.
My experience as a young mom was lots of screaming and sadness and crying.
I was alone. I was a young mom. I was alone for 15 years.
Yeah,
so
fun.
Yeah, I was just that's my recollection of being a young mom is me and a baby, and the baby was crying or sleeping, and I was just sitting there watching Little House on the Prairie or whatever was on Lifetime about the guy that's gonna murder me. And that's my
Did that guy murder you yet?
No, I left him first.
Okay, well, good. Yeah. Still working on these patrons, by the way. If you would like to give us some of your money so that I can fuck around trying to find your name because the Patreon website is the worst, you can join us at patreon.com/secularsoup. And we're also going to be revamping our Patreon levels a little.
That's another thing.
Yeah, do the announcement. And then
starting on October 17th, which is a Sunday,
the Lord's Day.
I've been reading a lot of books based in the past, but now our calendars are universal, so we don't have to worry about when you travel to different countries, you're a couple weeks behind. And I didn't know that was a thing back in the day, but apparently it was. October 17th in the world, on Sunday at, what did we say, 6?
6? Yeah, I think 6.
Okay, 6 o'clock Central Time.
Oh, see, that's good because that's a lot of sixes. It's a lot of S sounds. 6 Central Time.
6 o'clock Central Time every Sunday.
Sunday 6 at Central Time.
After church. We are going to be broadcasting live to the patrons only. So how this is going to work is we have our Secular Soup YouTube channel, and we are going to post a link specifically in Patreon for the patrons to watch live. And then a couple days later, after we go through the whole, editing process, we're not editing very much anymore. The whole editing process, we are going to release it to the masses on probably like Tuesday or Wednesday. And there you go.
So after we don't edit it and we just pull the audio, then
that's going to be our new thing.
Audio.
And the live feed will be posted on our YouTube channel. So we will be fucking hot and cute as we normally are.
We'll try. We'll do our best.
Everybody else.
It's a Sunday night. What are you going to do? The patrons can watch it live.
I'm still going to be in my church clothes.
Yeah,
I
go to one of those cool churches where you can wear jeans to church and it's real laid back, and like there's a cool youth pastor who plays guitar.
And he says, he's like, first of all, yo, I don't even know.
Yeah, something like that. And it's really just about
don't
Jesus.
Get sus
Jesus
with
is your bro.
Don't yeet the Lord.
Jesus is your bro, man. Let's play
he's
some
like your
guitar.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
his jeans are way too tight. I'm very uncomfortable, and I think he's probably gay.
It's that church. That's the one I go to. So if you were a patron, you will get to watch the video live.
Yeah.
And if you are not a patron, you can watch it later. So
eventually.
And if you don't want to watch the video, you will be able to just get audio of it. So, because not everybody wants to look at these faces. They're not that great.
I do not understand that mentality
it's
at
weird.
all.
I mean, today I look pretty good. Next Sunday, I might look like shit. Who knows?
I am not
for that.
I'm not in my top form. Wait until I'm in my top form. I am only at I don't even know forms, like a Pikachu.
Something like
that. Is that a form?
I don't know. I don't know anything about what the kids do. But I do have the patrons finally.
Do it. Do the thing.
All of the patrons who are $6.66 a month or higher, pledging at those rates, here they are. We're going to go fast. Don Ford, voice of fantasy and adventure. My cool friend Aaron from real life. Lois, a noble spirit and Miggins, the smallest man, a perfectly cromulent statement. Nailed it. Renee, April, Paul, Sarah, Randall, Life in the Left Lane, Verlaine, Yesh, Natalie, Wendy, Nuggin, Andy, and our 27th favorite Rich.
26.
20. What? You can't undermine me.
I'm not undermining you.
We're supposed to be a team.
We have never been.
And when you tell the kids something different than what I say, then
TBF,
it undermines what I said.
To be fair, we have literally never been a unit or a team.
I mean, I suppose that's why you're always telling the kids they can have ice cream for dinner, and then I have to like be the bad guy and be like, you guys, you can't just do this.
You're like, you can have ice creams with meat sprinkles. Yeah.
You're the one coddling Rich all the time. I just don't appreciate it. So
because he's gonna give me all the vaccines.
That's true. Oh, he's one of those good nurses. Thank you. He's one of the good nurses who knows what he's fucking doing and is vaccinated.
Actually believes in science.
Yes, thank you.
Weird.
All right, those are the patrons. Thank you so much for being a patron. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully we'll get our shit together and actually do like a regular broadcast. We've been saying it for a while. But stay tuned to see if we follow through. Who knows? Maybe this perimenopause will make us better people.
Has aging ever done anything?
No, not really.
All right. I'm gonna play the end
see
now.
You next time.
How to do it.
Okay,
Bye.
good. Bye.
Thanks to all of you motherfuckers who put up with the Amy's droning on week after week. If you enjoy their delightful bitchcraft, please follow them on all of the social medias and send them all of your money on Patreon or PayPal. You can find them on these platforms by using the Google machine. It's not hard. If you want to bitch with other fans about the show, join the Secret Soup Talk Facebook group. If you want to tell Amy and Amy to fuck off personally, you can send an email to secularsouppodcast@gmail.com, although it may go unanswered. Please rate and review the show on iTunes, Facebook, and wherever else you can review things like this. It will help spread the soup gospel far and wide. And hey, text someone right now. Tell your friends. As always, we'll leave you with the vocal stylings of Mr. Eli Bosnick.
Secular soup creed. Soup is the ultimate virtue. It's delicious, nutritious, patriarchy smashing, racism fighting, warm and fuzzy, human affirming, fun having, anti-theist, glitter throwing, tummy satisfying, pair of new shoes fulfilling, diversity seeking, happiness. Minestrone, beef and barley, chicken broth and split pea, gazpacho, tomato, clam chowder and potato, chicken noodle, beef noodle, egg drop and ramen cup, miso, gumbo, leek and pho. Grab a bowl and taste the magic. Slurp even this.